Bibi argues why Am Yisrael should have Eretz Yisrael. State of Israel, we built this place. Anybody else had it during all those 2,000 years. There was nothing here. And we came here and we built it, and it's ours, and etc. What he makes is an emotional argument, but it's not. It's certainly not what I think is what the Torah's argument for us possessing the land of Israel. And I think that there's actually a line. I'd like to give the argument presented not by Bibi, but the argument presented by the following Jewish personalities: Moses, Jephthah, Rashi, Maimonides, and Nachmanides. Yeah, I'll give you the sources for it. Why do we have the right to Am Yisrael in the face of the nations? Moses says at the beginning of the book of Deuteronomy that's because of conquest. We conquered this place fair and square, whether we were first pushed into the war or we went and did it because God told us to. Moshe Rabbeinu says, you are Am Yisrael. You have to go into Eretz Canaan and fight and destroy the Canaanim and expel them or force them to accept the Torah to the extent they must, and you are to rule that place and settle it. And if you're worried about this, just to know, this is what happens throughout the world. The Philistines did it to where they live, and this group did it. The Ammonites and Moabites did it to the Rephaim who live on the east coast, the east bank of the Jordan River, and the Edomites did it to the Bnei Seir. This is the way of the world. It always happens. You're familiar with this. It's like in the 3rd chapter of Deuteronomy. And you're going to do the same way, and you start doing the land of Sichon and Og, because that's what God does. And Jephthah said the same thing. When he was challenged by the king of Ammon on behalf of Ammon and Moab, give us back this eastern part of the Jordan River area. It's ours. What did Jephthah say? We won it fair and square. Our God gave us victory. You attacked us. Our God gave us victory. You know what? Whatever Chemosh, your false God, gives to you, you can have. Whatever the Lord God gives to us, we shall have. That's our justification. It may have been yours historically, but it's now ours. And where does Rashi say this? It's the first Rashi on the Torah. Rashi on the Torah is basically saying, when the nations of the world come to you and say, hey, you're listim, you point down and say, God gives the land to whoever God chooses. The Americans have America because they're there. They won it fair and square. And the Bulgarians have Bulgaria, and the Russians have Mother Russia. Their places, the whole eastern area they conquered because it's theirs. Conquest is how the world works. God gives the land from one people. One nation usurps another nation. That's the way of the world. That's how it is. And that's a very important argument. So now you saw that Moses makes it, Jephthah makes it, Rashi. Where's Maimonides say this? Maimonides talks about, the mitzvah of conquering the land. And Nachmanides, in his glosses on the book of mitzvah, say Rambam left out a mitzvah, Yishuv Haaretz. Doesn't he know? You're familiar with the text, what Ramban says. He brings all these halachas that Rambam agrees to. And what does it say? What is the mitzvah there? That we conquer the land and not leave it in the hands of others, and that we settle it. And Rashi says the same. What is the mitzvah of Yishuv Haaretz? Remove the Goyim and settle the Jews. Rashi in one line. So these great scholars, starting with Moses, have told us we have the land. Yes, maybe we are indigenous. Yes, we've been indigenous here for a while, but we also came here eventually. We have this land because God told us to be here. And it is our job to be here and make sure that those who are intending to be our rivals not be here. And we have a mitzvah to settle this land. Not what Bibi said. You go listen to it, I think it's nonsense. Not only that, there's a nafkamina. Because if you, according to Bibi, about being indigenous and all that, and we're the ones who built the land, then the Canaanites, the Amorites, the Philistines, Yavin Melech Canaan, who fought against Devorah and Barak, Sisera, Hiram Melech Tzor, the king of the Phoenicians and Tyre back in the day, and this Ethbaal, Jezebel's father, they all have as good a claim, if not better claim to the land of Israel by Bibi's logic. If there were still Canaanites and Philistines and Amorites around here, so they would also have as good a claim. That's a problem with Bibi's argument. And secondly, well,
but they're not here.
Oh, but what if they do show up? That doesn't work. You should just know that maybe genetically you could say that there's some Lebanese and others.
Most of them.
Yeah, maybe them are the remnants. That's a big problem. You might have that certain Arabian tribes that are very close to Eretz Yisrael in the northern part of the Arabian Peninsula have a good claim because they could say that they've been there forever and they were pushed out, etc. Edom, Esav. If you could find Ben Esav, you don't have this. People could say, yeah, they have a deck. There's been a lot of mix-ups, but you could, if you theoretically have a group that is just as good a claim as ours. That's why I don't like that claim. Not only that, according to what I'm saying here, according to, let's say, what's the Mosaic position, there's two great spokesmen of the Jewish people. Moses became a great orator, and so did Bibi. But I take Moses any day. Okay? According to this Mosaic thing, a convert to Judaism, a person who grew up in God knows where, a Native American, direct descendant from the Native Americans, converts to Judaism. He's been in the American continent for 50,000 years, whatever they say. He converts to Judaism. He has more of a right to Eretz Yisrael than someone who's been here since time immemorial, like the bad guys claim. You convert to Judaism, you have as good a claim. This is now Eretz Yisrael for you because you're now you're Yisrael. But Bibi doesn't make the argument. Says, you've been here, but what do you do with all the people convert? Okay, so I think that the Mosaic argument in this regard is stronger, and I think that we should make this. We should not be ashamed of making. Yeah, sure, okay, fine. We're the ones who built this land, but just because other groups were here and they want to treat this place like a dump a little bit, like a great Jewish thinker said, but it was their dump. We made you a garden. Shouldn't you be appreciative? No, because it's your garden, not mine. I'd rather this place. How many people just look at people's own yards? What's better? What does someone enjoy more? Paying exorbitant rent to live in a nice place, or being the owner and he doesn't really keep good care of the place? It looks ugly. He needs to paint the place. There's dripping pipes and all that. It's still his. That's what makes him happy about it. And that's the way some people are. So they'd rather have a dump of a country and not do anything with it, but it's still theirs, not belong to someone else.
We would like to encourage our viewers to share these videos with friends and send in your responses. If you would like to obtain Birkon Nusach Eretz Yisrael or invite the rabbi for a speaking engagement, please email us at office@machonshilo.org.